Hello everyone, and welcome to Lush and Salty Aquariums. My name is Stefan. Thank you for supporting my channel. This is the 32-gallon long aquarium that sits on my rack system, center stage if you will, in the fish room. And I wanted to talk about one thing specifically, but before we get to that, a brief overview on the denizens of this tank and how it's going, a bit of an update. As you can see, the live bears are doing what live bears do and making more of themselves. I started this tank, as I said, with just the white cloud mountain minnows, but at a fish swap about 6 months ago, I picked up a couple pairs of glorious creatures that I just had to have. I wanted some sort of spawning in this tank, and I wasn't getting it from the white clouds for whatever reason. Earlier videos discussed that. So I succumbed to my urge and grabbed a sure thing, but at the swaps, a sure thing could mean very, very beautiful versions of those sure things. Look at that veal tail red molly back there, orange or red molly, and look at this tuxedo platy. Thank you, Dan from Sydney's Angels, for these. And look at that. Oh my gosh. Is there nothing more iconic than a veal tail black molly? It's such a stunning fish. That was one of the pairs I got. Now these are already their offspring, that one there. This is a regular fin molly, you know, still beautiful, but something about those veals, or, you know, whatever, I'm not sure if that's the exact right way to describe the veal tail on a black molly, but I think it is. Look at that female. She's robust, has a little bit of gold flaking on her skin, and I've been getting a bunch of fry from all of these. I put them in that little cup up there to decide what to do with them. I can't really call per se, because at a small size you don't know whether you're getting standard fin, straight fin, or exactly what the color morph is going to be. I mean, you know a black molly when you see it, but you'd be surprised at the changes that can happen as they become juvenile and then adults. So I've got this raging school of beautiful live bear fish, as well as the white clouds. There's the hero right there, and I know that one I bought at the swap. How could you say no to that? And it wasn't even that crazy long fin yet. It had yet to grow in my tank, and you can see it's a veal tail swordtail, and I've got these German swordtails. That was another pair that I got. Those are the true parents. I have offspring from all of these, and I've given some away. I've traded some to fish shops, excuse me. You know, I didn't have the tank space to raise them up to what they call a sellable size, so I had to get creative, and honestly, some of these beautiful fry became fish food in my display tank in the other room. And that happens. Anyone in the Chicago area, if you want to grab a few fry from me, just hit me up. I'm happy to oblige. I'm sure we can work something out. All right, all that, and there's a couple orange laser cats. I've got a bunch of them in here. I just love this species. So fantastic. I mean, I'm sure they would spawn for me, except I've got too many fish to you know, hope that even the eggs would last a New York minute. There's a black Coreodora, and there's a couple more. Another wonderful version of the Coreodora that I just adore. So believe it or not, after that 3-minute preamble, I wanted to talk about this aquarium plant, Blyxa Japonica. It like defies classification. I mean, it looks like dwarf hairgrass or some kind of carpeting plant, and in some respects you could consider it some sort of carpeting plant, but it's actually a stem plant. It comes from Japan, ergo the name Blyxa Japonica, or Asia proper. I'm not sure the exact geography. And it grows so tightly compact, like rosettes almost. And while you can't see them here, because they're underground, they're pointed root structures, and they literally will keep dividing underground until the bush becomes so big and fluffy that sometimes the plant will literally uproot itself and float to the top, and then you would break it apart and move the rosettes along, a little bit like planting pieces of dwarf hair grass to increase the size and health of your carpet. But as I said, it is a stem plant. It's also, I would say, moderate in terms of its difficulty to keep. I've had success at different levels in different tanks. You could say that for all fish and plants, but with this plant, nothing is certain. It loves to get nutrients from the water column, and it also responds well to CO2. In the right conditions, it might even turn a reddish orange hue. If it's turning pale white, that means it's not getting the appropriate nutritional value, and so it's recommended that you fertilize. Nothing, orgiastic. You don't have to go nuts. I don't. I fertilize once a week, essentially. I mean, these fish and their waste product is ample fertilization. I run 2 filters on this tank, a small kind of hang on the back canister from Oase back there. You can never see it because the water's bright, and that's as intended. And then I've got the bigger biothermomaster, whatever they call it, running the filtration for the lion's share of this tank. I also use an air stone at night. After the CO2 and the lights go out, the air stone comes on, and all those apparatus in combination have given me a healthy tank and allow me to keep so many fish. Now, I don't want really this many fish, but tell that to them. It's just the way it is with live bears. So if you're gonna have an overpopulation, generally speaking, you have to do the things I'm talking about if you want healthy, vigorous, beautiful representation from all these live bear species, to say nothing of the Coreodoras and the shrimp and other things that are in this tank, all coexisting really happily. So I'm delighted by this ecosystem, and the Blyxa Japonica has found its way as a centerpiece. Is it a carpet? Is it a stem plant? Is it a bush? Is it a rosette? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, it definitely is awesome. I love this plant, and if I wanted to propagate it, I mean, it's doing a pretty good job all by itself. All I would have to do is pull from the sides, and rosettes would come out, and I know this for a fact, and it always happens, and you can just literally collect them and move them along to different spots in the tank. I don't have any different spots in the tank because I have so many plants from all the other species, which I won't go into now. Most of you can recognize some of the obvious plants that are in this aquarium and the aquascape that enables them to do what they're doing. But Blyxa Japonica, don't sleep on this plant. It's pretty awesome and could be a wonderful alternative to dwarf hair grass, especially in a bigger tank where you can allow it to, show off more. It's not a delicate plant per se. It will demand space ultimately. So to try to just tuck a little bit into a corner might work in the short term, but it really wants what it really wants, and that is space and flow and light and CO2 if it's going to show off the way it is here. And this is not even the red or gold form. It can be more fantastic than this, but I'm plenty happy with just the way it's representing here. FYI, I have a clay-based substrate beneath the gravel from Oliver Knott. I've never used his products before, and I've only used that one bag as a bottom layer with gravel on top. But whatever's in that clay-based formulation, clay obviously, is doing the trick for this plant and really a lot of others. Now, it left a bunch of kind of red residue and a dusting or a cloudiness for a period of time, but that happens with a lot of substrates, and ultimately it corrected itself. And so I'm getting great success from really all my plants in this aquarium. But you can see the cryptocorn And you can see the anubias, which does not rely on substrate, pogostem and octopus, vallisneria, more crypts, and a few specimens, sturgeon repens, which I'm kind of growing as an individual here and there as opposed to a carpet. And like the cryptocorn, Blyxa Japonica is a pseudo-carpeting plant, especially if after a few months, if you have a healthy ecosystem, and both of those plants in some respect behave in a similar fashion. They just get bigger, more robust, and a month goes by and it seems to have just doubled in size. And you're not sure how or when it happened. You just look up one day, shake your head like an Etch-a-Sketch, and boom, your plant has doubled in size. What a wonderful outcome, right? Okay, everybody, so if you have any questions or comments, do not hesitate to ask, and I promise I will reply. As always, folks, keep your hands in the tank, and ciao for now.